Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the DEA Member Spotlight Series. This series is all about showcasing our members' innovations that are solving real challenges in the world of digital money, payments, and infrastructure. If you enjoy this new format, please hit like, share it with your network, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with more exclusive content. I'd like to start by thanking all our standard members for their continued support and say that at the end of the episode, we will open the floor for a few audience questions, so feel free to drop your questions in the YouTube chat box throughout the session. Now, I'm pleased and honored to welcome today's guests, Alex, founder and CEO of MONEI, and Dmitriy, CTO of MONEI. They will be speaking with us about EURM, the euro-pegged stablecoin developed by MONEI and its recent successful testing within Spain's regulatory sandbox supervised by Bank of Spain. Alex and Dmitry, thank you so much for being here, and I hand over to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Tamara. It's a pleasure to be among all of you. In fact, MONEI has been a member of the DEA for a long time. We were one of the first ones. We're super glad that there is lots of members already, huge brands, huge companies, governments, public institutions. So I always say that we have within our DNA and within our blood, we just thrive and breathe technology, innovation, and whatever it's related to making the digitization of our society faster and easier to deploy. Here, MONEI it is. We're always in all the barriers or battles we can be. Today, it's a question of speaking about a potential issuing of a regulated stablecoin within Europe, but we are also listening and working together along with European Central Bank, with the pilots of digital euro. We are not anybody, or we're a company not making safe, firm affirmations or bold affirmations about where things are going to go, because there is lots of question marks here. So if we do say something which can sound a bold affirmation, please forbid us, because it's not our intention. Everything is evolving really fast. There is still lots of macro questions here, economic-wise. Let's say China, what happens within the US compulsion, if it's a good word to say, related to US dollar stablecoins. So there is lots of things to take into account, and I would kindly ask that we do start a conversation, but that MONEI is never gonna make any bold affirmation, right? Because it could be it could put us in some situation that we don't like. We just like to be in the edge, on the top of the wave of the innovation, listening, understanding what society needs, what society wants, and that's basically it, right? I'm gonna share my screen because we have some small presentation, but I would really like to stress something. I don't know, Tamara, if people can contribute in real time in terms of giving them the floor on voice, but at least I would really love to have people share and send questions right away, because that's going to make it more fun and more dynamic, because we don't have the real truth of anything here. We can just share our humble but yet ambitious project, which was developed within MONEI and Banco de España, Spanish Central Bank. So yeah, I would kindly ask that people can really challenge us and interrupt us if it's possible. Don't be shy. We like people challenging us. We will divide the presentation, which is not going to be an hour. Hopefully it's going to be shorter, in basically two blogs, the global perspective of EURM, and then Dima is going to do a quick overview of a small pilot that we already have in production live, but still it's not in the market, right? It's really important to lay the foundations of this message, which is this is not live yet, because there is the MiCA, which just came out of the blue while we were working with Banco de España. So there is lots of really important steps regulatory-wise to be undertaken before that we launch EURM as an official and public and stablecoin, right? So let me share my screen, and we're gonna share the keynotes we have here. Just 1 second. Gonna put it in presentation mode. Okay. Right. So what EURM is basically what we already said and what everybody can imagine and deduct is a real translation and putting into the street a real stablecoin backed by euro and fully regulated. We all know that there's been already around the world multiple, well, not multiple, but some really popular stablecoins which are having a huge, lots of assets under management, but still they let's say Tether and Circle, they are not really towards moving within euro, and in the middle of their growth within the US dollar space, the MiCA became a reality. So still they decided to kind of move a step aside from the European ecosystem, right? So EURM, it intends to be a stablecoin within the European ecosystem, regulated, fully compliant, and fully MiCA compliant, right? Again, it's a backed stablecoin issued by MONEI under the regulatory framework of Bank of Spain within the digital sandbox. That the digital sandbox is a tool which some other countries in Europe have, which is a playground, would say, to test new financial products which can hardly suit into a standardized framework for banking license, let's say, right? So the sandbox is like for the pharmaceutical industry, we're going to the lab and just testing new drugs. It's built on top of Ethereum and behind Polygon blockchain, or you call it all the upside down, Polygon and Ethereum behind. The reasons of building it within Ethereum and Polygon will be a little bit explained later on, either by me or Dmitriy. There is like 3 or 4 main reasons here, but that's more on the technical side. And still, each token of EURM is backed one by euros held in licensed financial institutions, right? Good to say that the project started in 2020, so it has evolved a lot, and it had to transform a little bit in the middle of the process to become MiCA compliant. So there were some papers stating some questions which had to be dynamically in real time transformed to adapt to what MiCA became, right? For instance, that's why I said that, because one of the things that MiCA says when it comes to issuing stablecoins is that the fiat needs to be stored in a minimum of six different safeguard bank accounts belonging to 6 different financial institutions, right? Initially, we had only 2, and then we had to consider all the new paradigm of EURM by taking into account this conditional of the MiCA, right? We were approved by Bank of Spain within the control testing environment. We did lots of tests, technology and stress tests, basically. There were also some tests related to onboarding of the users, AML checks, identity verification. We did the whole project, and the whole pilot was only considered initially for smoothing the process of releasing the project, just to work with individuals. But still can be anybody could potentially onboard, companies too. Obviously, the AML would be much different, but that's pretty much it in terms of how we did it in the Bank of Spain controlled testing environment. Technically wise, lots of stress tests to force the system to process thousands of transactions per second to see how the whole environment worked, because there is some internal infrastructures, but then you rely also on public infrastructures, Ethereum, Polygon. So we had to test a lot of different angles technology-wise, right? It's fully collateralized with transparent reserves, so all the reserves can be checked, and whenever it's live, it's prone that there will be audits of each reserve. So external audits and external public fedatarians can confirm that the assets under management are those equal to the issued tokens. And yeah, it's efficient, enables near instant euro payments. So we tested, and we can show you guys today that the transactions are almost real time with really low cost. Dima can share a little bit some figures which were analyzed in terms of costs, which are a bit rough, and it could definitely the networks are evolving. So the more we run, the cheaper probably the whole infrastructure and the transactions would be. So Dima can share some rough figures about how much was a, let's say, 100,000 euro transaction, which people will be amazed. And definitely it's scalable, and it's built for integrations in e-commerce, B2B, peer-to-peer payments, and it can offer a wide array of application concepts here to eventually work with programmable events and technologies. Right? The way it works, it's pretty simple. Users complete identity verification through MONEI. Again, the pilot is still considering only individuals, not companies. The URL is wallet.eurm.org. We encourage people to ask Tamara or DEA members if they want a sandbox access. We can definitely give them access to play around. We will definitely top up with our own fiat. It's going to be like €5 for each member requesting that, because the minting and second point and top up today is done using Bizum, a really popular local Spanish payment method with millions and tens of millions of users already using it. We decided to do that because it's in fact an instant SEPA transfer, very low cost, and not depending on American companies. So we wanted to make everything within an European mindset. So that's why we didn't put the branch anybody can think of, right? Once the user has sent the euros using Bizum, which in fact it's grabbing some euros fiat from her bank account using a Bizum layer and sending it to a MONEI safeguard bank account. So MONEI gets that money, puts it in the safeguard bank account, and real time the EURMs, which are the tokens, are minted, right? Then the user can see that he has the equivalent of what she sent to MONEI in EURMs, and can be used in real time for payments, transfers, business settlements, whatever. Once the user wants to redeem back and convert and burn those EURMs and convert them back to fiat and send them back to their European IBAN, it's just a question of withdraw. It's just super transparent, and in real time, MONEI grabs that fiat, which is in that MONEI safeguard account, and is going to send it to the user IBAN, right? Still using Bizum as a layer because it's the UX and UI of Bizum is amazing, super good user experience. So that's how it works. Supported blockchains. Here, I think I can give my floor to Dima to explain a little bit about why we decided to work with Ethereum and Polygon and not other chains or not other private chains, but still something about the chains which can change in the future. So yeah. You're muted. Okay.
Okay. So hello, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for the brief presentation. Well, I'd like to comment that overall digital euro and EURM project is more like universal concept, and the biggest challenges in regulatory surface and not actually like as a specific technical implementation. And when we started this project, we considered multiple options how to implement it, and we did some research. And we chose Polygon for multiple reasons. First of all, we wanted to have an Ethereum layer 2 blockchain, overall like Ethereum compatible blockchain that will allow us to deploy it's like a pretty standard ERC20 smart contract that will manage the token itself. And because this is a widely accepted way to issue tokens, we thought that it would be easy for people to adopt, especially for the use in other smart contracts, and as a way to have a stable euro-backed coin inside the Ethereum infrastructure to be able to do programmatic transactions, to do different logic in smart contracts and so on. But overall, I would like to stress out that the eventual goal is pretty similar to what other stable coins are offering right now, to be present in as much open chains as possible, to give access to as many users and different use cases. So it's not the question of a specific blockchain and particular implementation. It's more a question of having an approved on the European level concept that can exist in multiple implementations. But for specifically for the project that we did with the Bank of Spain, which was Polygon, because it was a simplest solution for us to develop, and it was cheap and relatively fast for our use cases. In fact, we did a full set of stress tests on the Polygon blockchain and overall our infrastructure. Here, I want to mention that we, as a company, kind of believe in the serverless infrastructure environment. So our main products and services are also follow the same approach. And here we rely a lot on AWS, and all our infrastructure is inside Amazon Web Services. And here we basically followed the same familiar for us architecture. So we have two core participants in this project, I'd say, which is AWS that provides the scalable infrastructure, and then we have Polygon for the blockchain solution. Polygon is also beneficial for us because it offers a variety of infrastructure utilities for private side chains that could be built on top of Ethereum layer 2. So in the future, we can speed up and scale the infrastructure there, having our own dedicated side chain. This will allow us to significantly increase the throughput. But for the testing purposes, we did entire project in the public Polygon chain, which is there are some limitations to that, but we wanted to be as transparent as possible in the how the architecture works and how the implementation is done. So it is every transaction is verifiable on the public blockchain, which is debatable, I'd say, feature for digital euro in a sense that it's pretty common for blockchain based, especially public blockchain based solutions, but when we talk about digital finances, it's not really common to have publicly accessible information, traceable information about the transactions. So there is an open debate on how the final implementation would look like in this sense, because on one side we would like to have EURM available as a stable coin in multiple blockchains, and it will be a publicly available data. But we also envision a more user-friendly use case for ordinary people that would like to download an application and use a custodial wallet to be able to top up and send transactions. And for simple cases like that, we are considering more private solutions that will not expose every transaction, that will not be traceable through the public blockchain. So there are some interesting ways right now how to obfuscate transactions, but still stay on the public blockchain, which is the most interesting solution for us, probably, because we still want to be as transparent as possible and want to be able to have external audits and verifiable traces for all transactions, but without exposing sensitive information of our users there. Yes. Regarding cost, it really depends on the current prices of Polygon, but overall the actual cost of the transaction is very low, in a sense that just let me check some figures. So it does not depend on the amount of the transaction, so only on the fact of the transfer of the tokens from one account to another. So for 1,000 transactions, it will be 5 cents, and it does scale linearly with the amount of transactions. So it's pretty manageable for us, and let's say we are considering how the actual fee will be incorporated in the project itself. So because if the project is on a public chain, the fee will be paid by the final user. But if the user is using our application, we will take care of fees at least at the beginning. I think I can hand over to Alex here so we can finish the presentation, and then we can discuss more technical details a bit further.
Yeah, and we can show the MONEI wallet. Anybody wants to see a real-time transaction. I bet that all the audience here is pretty familiar with the topic we're touching and knows the reason behind a potential digital euro or stablecoin and the use cases bound to them. I'm sure that I'm missing a lot of future use cases. We tried to be broad and agnostic, but obviously merchants could accept EURM as a payment method. In fact, there is some ways, and you'll see the application we use, that we don't even mention EURM to the end user, not to confuse the people, because in fact they are euros. So merchants potentially can accept EURM without even knowing that they use EURM, right? Which is what's going to potentially happen with digital euro by European Central Bank, right? We are always toward making a good user experience. And we always, whenever having internal discussions about messaging, communication, and all that stuff, we thought that it's not needed if we want to make it broad to confuse people with other symbols, because it's in fact an euro, even though that it goes through different rails with our blockchain, but the thing is the same. So it's tokens, right? So yeah, obviously peer-to-peer, for individuals to send money worldwide, not within Europe. It could happen. In fact, I can tell you that there's been some African countries approach us to do some pilots about this, but still we focus on Europe because that's our route here. But still, yeah, could be used anywhere, and the technology and infrastructure could potentially be ported to any other currency. Yeah? And for businesses, the future use cases can be to improve treasury management, or reduce transfer fees, and implement a private programmable euro. We use the private word here because we want to stress again that this can potentially merge into a technical solution working in some sites within the potential digital euro, but we want to stress that this is not a digital euro. This is a stablecoin, which is a private digital euro. But again, I want to stress that they can work together in the future if things keep evolving, right? We're not close to anything. We're not saying that this cannot work with that or that cannot work with this, okay? Regarding compliance and transparency, going a little bit back to what Dima said, is that again the technologies, it's not the hard thing here. Obviously, there is lots of security involved, which is the main question. Infrastructure also to make sure that it's resilient, but the question here is to be compliant and to be super transparent, right? So it should be fully compliant with AML and FT and KYC regulations, obviously behind the MiCA umbrella. Funds safeguarded, as Mika said, in licensed financial institutions. Still would like to stress that what Mika says is that stablecoins can only be issued by banks or EMIs, right? So no private company can issue stablecoins, no payment entity can issue stablecoins, only EMIs or banks. And transparent, what Dima was saying, minting and burning via public blockchain explorers. Still, there would be a long debate in terms of individuals' privacy and making sure that there is a good balance between privacy, but still AML controls, right? Because there is always a point where you need to decide where to cut things in order to be fully AML compliant, but in order to protect the individuals within Europe, right? So, yeah. The roadmap and future vision is that currently it's live in the Sandbox and internal environment only for individuals within the MONEI ecosystem. Next steps are to expand access, deepen integrations and partnerships, and full commercial release, always making sure that MiCA is fully product is fully MiCA compliant. And the vision is to make EURM the go-to private digital euro for Europe's payments infrastructure, right? If you want to see some documentation, we will share this document, this presentation with DEA, so they will share it with you, all the attendees here. You can read deeper and more technical documentation on docs.money.com/EURM/stablecoin. And there is also some official public document or memorandum by Bank of Spain about the project. And from my side, I think I'm done. It's been a pleasure, yeah. And I think Dima can share the UX and UI of the EURM wallet. And then we can go for the questions. And obviously, if Dima has something to add, happy to listen to it.
Yeah, well, first of all, a few technical details. So we designed the system in a way that it will be the smart contract will be always in pair with real actual euro. So we automatically mint tokens and burn tokens in response to top-ups and withdrawals. So, and there is an additional mechanisms that make sure that the actual amount of euro in the safeguard bank account that will be corresponding to the smart contract is always equal to the total amount of issued tokens. So there are it is not a type of a token that will have like a predefined supply that cannot change. Instead, it's a smart contract that depends on designed to be in sync with the actual euro that we will have as a backing value of the token. So yeah, I'm gonna share a really quick presentation. Well, not really a presentation, just a demo of our tiny app. It is designed mostly for a mobile phone, so I'm gonna show it as a mobile screen like this. So essentially, the app is pretty simple because it was designed to demonstrate the functionality that we mentioned. So it is a custodial wallet that can be used by anyone, accessible via a phone number. You register with the phone number, verify with SMS, and then there is a QIC process with identity verification where you need to check your identity with the physical document and selfie. And then once you verify it, you will be able to send funds. So the interesting point is that Alex already mentioned is that we have an integration with Bizum locally in Spain, but Bizum is basically a local implementation of SEPA request to pay. So it provides the functionality to actually issue a transaction directly against a specific bank, well, in this case by a phone number, and the user receives a push notification in a banking app to confirm the transaction. This is what we're doing here. So whenever the recharge is requested, it actually sends a direct push notification. I unfortunately cannot show the banking app itself, but I'm gonna prove it now in the banking app. And the transaction is now approved. So it takes like a few seconds to update the balance, and this happens in sync with Polygon, and this value here actually means that the token actually was issued in correspondence to the top up that we received. So there are some additional checks that are going on, and we are doing multiple verifications and making sure that we actually received the money and we actually issued the tokens. But it happens quite fast, so like within 1 or 2 seconds, you're going to have your balance. And the functionality is pretty simple. You can send funds by phone number. This is because this is an app that is designed for like end users. We intentionally, as Alex mentioned, we intentionally kind of like omitted the blockchain related words, and it is a simple wallet where you can send funds, like do a top up and then send funds using a phone number. Actually, the API behind it does allow sending directly by the blockchain address, but we decided not to implement this in the app itself. So I'm gonna send the transaction. It takes a little bit of time to actually confirm the transaction in the blockchain, so it's not like real time. Maybe you can even send another one in time. Maybe one more. Let's see. The balance should be updated in a minute. I hope it's going to work because it was working.
I can show my screen that I got them. So it's probably something related to the infrastructure or whatever, but
just a second.
Should I share my screen?
No, wait. The transactions are still confirming. Probably takes some time. Hard to say why.
They are authorized, so I can see the ID of the transaction.
Weird. Well,
I can show the screen.
It happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, so I can just show my screen that I just got 2 transactions, and now 3, which is the transactions that they were just done. 10 cents, 1 euro, it's and 10 cents more. So you can send one more if you want. So you can make 29 cents, for instance.
Yeah, just a second. Okay.
Well,
just a second. I'm not that sure that. Okay, sending another one.
Yeah, so here we have the 29 cents. So yeah. All right.
Well, I probably should also share the.
Yeah, you can share the network link on
Yeah.
Polygon so people can see that those transactions are shown within the UX private app wallet, but then that's shown on the public network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, there is a publicly available token, and each transaction is traceable, and you can see the history and actually like from and to address. And well, this is probably interesting. So this is the final like fee for the transaction. So as you can see, it's pretty low. And yeah, as I mentioned, right now all this information is publicly accessible through the blockchain. But we're considering like doing in a more secure way in the future. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think this is the demo. So if anyone has any questions, oh, I didn't show withdrawal process, but it's essentially the same as top up. You request the amount you want to withdraw. We do some checks against the real balance of the user, and we do a direct transfer, which is also done via Bizum payouts, which is a separate direct transfer, so the funds are available instantly for the user.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, Alex and Dmitry. Really informative presentation. We do have so many questions.
Really?
Okay, so we have two regarding fees. The first one, it's about so regarding the Bizu ramp, who pays the circa 1.5% payment fees that Bizum charges? So this is the first one. And the second, it's from Johannes. Thanks a lot for joining us, Johannes. Could you please give us a glance of the fees? So you just mentioned the 5 cents per transaction, and also it depends.
No, it was per thousand transactions. It's not per transaction.
So
Okay.
it would be 0.004 per transaction, approx, no matter if it's 100K euro transaction.
No. It's even less, I think.
Less than that?
Let me just, yeah, it's less than that.
Dima, you do the calculations, and you, Tamara, please reformulate the first question about Bizum, because there were some rough
Yeah,
figures.
sure.
So
Yeah, so the question is
who pays for the Bizum fee?
1.5% payment fees that Bizum charges. I don't know if this is the agreement that you have with Bizum, but yeah.
No, that's a long conversation. Bizum doesn't charge 1.5. First of all, Bizum is a scheme, and in fact, Bizum doesn't charge anything to the end user. Bizum has an agreement, and it's a project owned by most or all of the Spanish banks. It's a pure infrastructure / scheme. Then who that's the fees is the acquirers of Bizum, which are the fathers of Bizum. I would say that, as far as I know, acquirers don't charge 1.5. So I would be really careful doing this type of affirmations about the fees of Bizum. Secondly, if there is any Bizum fee or any Bizum fee related to the transaction, MONEI is the one who is holding and paying and supporting that fee, right? So
Okay.
no 1.5 commissions for Bizum transactions. Second, MONEI supports the fee of the top up. Okay. And Dima, you can do the maths, because I'm pretty bad at maths.
Well, first of all, let me just share my screen again, because, like, sorry for the missing part, but the app is working. There was a small delay apparently. So the actual transaction price for each transaction, you can actually see this in Polygon, the public blockchain, and it is this value. Not confirmed yet. It is this value, which is 3 zeros and then like 6. So this is a price of one transaction, like a raw cost. So it's 5 cents per 1,000 transactions, let's say, like this. So it's reasonably cheap, and we can make it even cheaper with some additional mechanisms that will make sense to implement at scale. For example, our smart contract allows like batch processing. So this actually the benefit of smart contracts here is that like the actual fee on the blockchain is the fee for information transfer. So for moving, it's like a record in updating a record in database, but the database inside the blockchain. So it doesn't matter whether it's one transaction or 10 transactions or 1,000 transactions. If we can do like 1,000 transactions in one, let's say database transaction, in the sense that we store the data at once for all the transactions, like recalculating balances, it will be still considered as one transaction. So we can do a lot of optimizations to go in further and make it extremely cheap for us and for the end user to use. And there are even more alternatives to Polygon, like side chains that offer even cheaper transactions. So there are multiple ways we can optimize this. But in the basic implementation, it doesn't cost us pretty much anything at this point and the foreseeable future at the scale. Yeah. Maybe, Alex, you can send the transaction back to me so we can see it in real time.
Oh, sure. How much do you need?
Everything you have.
Okay. So did it work? What was your T-shirt saying? It worked on local? It worked. Okay, so I don't know if it's good that we share our phones here, and that's gonna stay in YouTube. So maybe people's gonna send us money in the future.
That's only yours.
Well, let me check your phone because there is multiple. Just let me go.
Okay, we can go for more questions in the meantime, I think.
And I do it in real time. Yeah, Tamara.
Okay, so we have one here from Lasse. Thanks a lot for joining us regarding use cases. So do you have any use case other than the payment from one wallet to another? Maybe you have any cool experiments in the Sandbox that you can share?
Well, there is multiple use cases. As far as your imagination lays down into whatever which is related to euro and to money movement, you can just think of anything. We always say that, for instance, a company could put a wallet with all of your salary at the first day of the month, and you could potentially grab by chunks, like a reverse buy now pay later solution. You could plug MONEI EURM to a coffee machine and calculate in real time how many coffees in a bar, the employees are doing, and in real time sending 10 cents to all the employees which are working in that moment. There is ERP, POS synchronization. There is insurance related to weather. There is multiple use cases you can think on. So we could sit down in a table and start having amazing ideas, and all of them would make sense. The question is that financial institutions have been holding a kind of a monopoly, so they were not challenged to put innovation in front of the society. So now it's the moment to say, hey, there is fintechs, which are techie guys, geek guys, who can, the doors are open to them to do some technology advanced things. So that's the angle, and that's the way we see it. I just sent 2.69. More questions, Tamara? You can share the screen, Dima.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah, so this is how the incoming transaction looks, and we can actually see it in Polygon as well. The transaction is successful here. That is confirmed. And well, the price is variable, but it stays within this the limit. Regarding the use cases, I wanted to mention that because and this was one of the initial kind of requirements that we wanted to have is for our token to be accessible on the blockchain that supports smart contracts, because smart contracts actually allow pretty much infinite possibilities, because it's a way to have programmable money in a very broad sense. For example, as Alex mentioned, you can have insurance contracts that include conditions in which the retribution will be paid, and those conditions are executed automatically based on some incoming data. Or it can be an agreement that requires payments from multiple parties, and then the agreement is signed automatically when all the parties have paid and the contract receives transactions. Or it can be an automated split payment solution where I don't know, a fee or a percentage of each transaction is automatically taken and sent to a, let's say, I don't know, charity organization or some other entity. That could be, I don't know, utility services that have smart contracts that automatically calculate the consumption and then issue dynamic payments based on the consumption of whatever, electricity or water or anything else. So there are lots of possibilities for programmable money, and the biggest benefit here is that it's not a black box system that lives within a bank, but it's an open system that can be verified and audited from outside. And let's say you sign up for insurance, and you can actually verify that the contract will be doing what you think it will be doing in the specific conditions. So yeah.
Okay, I think we do have time for one question. So it's about the system. So how is your limiting system to not allow others to smart contract mind? And the person suggested predefined wallets or any other kind of limitation.
Well, if we're talking about our own application, like the implementation that we did for Bank of Spain, like this application, it actually automatically creates a dedicated wallet for each user that signs up with a phone number, and we associate a phone number to a wallet in Polygon blockchain. In this case, because we wanted to simplify the implementation, we actually have what is called a custodial wallet. So we own the encryption key for the wallet, and we securely store it on our side, and we use it to do a transfer on behalf of a user. This allows to greatly simplify the user experience. But we also support a fully managed wallets where the user registers their own wallet, and they own private keys, and they can send because this is a pretty standard smart contract. It is supported in any environment that supports smart contracts. So you can use MetaMask or any other wallet provider with your own offline wallet, and you will be able to still send and receive EURM. The catch here is that you will also have to pay the fees, but because they are really low on Polygon blockchain, I think this is not a big issue. Yeah, but obviously the smart contract functionality that I mentioned is more designed for, more envisioned for sophisticated users that are using the token on the blockchain directly, and not for simple peer-to-peer transactions from the app.
Great. Yeah, so perhaps we can wrap up. And you mentioned that yeah, the most difficulty it's regulatory one. It's not the technology itself. So if you could get one message across to regulators, yeah, what would you say to each?
That's a hard question, Tamara. Because if we were without cameras, I would say one thing, and I would say that regulators should, if we can just ask for a dream, to sit down with the innovators and ask them and try to work them in a positive sense, and try to help them not to build super hard frameworks where it makes it a bit depressing sometimes to build new things. It's really broad, and there is so many questions involved here. It depends also on how we want to evolve as a society, whether if we want to face challenges from China or from the US. So the regulator will need to adapt for small but agile payment companies like MONEI. We have the technology and the ambition to build these, and we can make it a reality really fast because we're really motivated young teams. But then we face the regulation barriers, and then the big companies, they make a lot of money, so they don't care about innovation because it's something which is too far for them. So going back to your question, my question or my message to the regulator will be that they should listen to much more to the innovation and to the small players, and sit down with them and ask them, hey, how can we help you on the regulation side to make things become real faster, and so that you guys don't feel like you are threatened, right? Because sometimes it's how we feel like we are not being supported rather than we're being put sticks on the wheel every day.
Yeah, just a few words here that I wanted to share a positive feedback of the Sandbox license that we got for this project, because it was really interesting for us as well, because we got direct feedback from the regulator about our project, and it helped us a lot to shape it in a way that that we can present it like for further steps, and like overall having a direct communication with someone who actually is involved in regulation of this area is super positive. And in other spheres that are related to our like payment processing activities, it's not that easy sometimes. So I completely agree with Alex here that it's super important to have a direct communication channel to be able to provide our feedback, to be able to receive feedback, and move forward. Because like this project is, again, like we did the first step, which was also complicated with lots of bureaucracy, but very positive in the sense that we got through and we received a lot of feedback. But there are lots of other steps that we need to do in order to have a publicly available project. And the Sandbox initiative kind of like ends at the first step, and all the subsequent steps are more traditional in a sense of regulation, where we're not going to have this sort of communication. So ideally, it should be something like Sandbox environment, but all the way through to be able to complete and have a publicly available product. Yeah.
Yeah, just one last thing. Maybe I wasn't clear about speaking about the regulator. I was subtly referring more to the European regulator, right? Not the local regulator, because Bank of Spain team has been amazing, in working hard, helping us a lot. But then they face another regulation, which is in fact MiCA, which cuts their hands. So that's where we are.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks a lot, Alex and Dmitry. And big thank you as well to everyone watching and engaging with us today. I will send all the remaining questions. We had many questions in the YouTube, and we will try to address them. And if you enjoy this episode, please like the video, share it with your network, and subscribe to our channel to support this initiative and never miss a future episode. We'll see you soon for the next episode of the DEA Member Spotlight series. Until then, stay curious and stay connected. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.